How to hypnotize people when they apparently resist. Actually, resistance is most of the time not what you think it is. It is not that the client doesn't like you or the client doesn't want to be hypnotized. Resistance in many cases is more a defense mechanism. It is more like putting up a wall between you and them if they sense you are starting to touch some very sensitive topics about themselves, see even some things that could make them change really fast. Some part of them may be worried about actually being able to change really fast, and therefore they are worried about you keeping going on that topic. The reason I talk about that is because many aspiring professional hypnotists, or even literally professionals but who still have some lack of self-confidence sometimes when they need to get into the next session with any client, many people like that are scared of resistance, of getting a client who is not receptive, who is not responsive, who is just not willing to agree upon all the suggestions right away. And the idea about what scares you is that actually you can learn faster if you go toward the things that scare you the most. It is valid for you as a hypnotherapist if you want to help more clients. You will have to face that sometimes some of them are a pain in the ass and just don't want to let go of the main thing you know they should let go of. And they are like, no, it's not like this, not like that. They are just arguing with everything you say. In the end, those are the greatest opportunities to learn and to develop your skills, because you will develop patience, you will develop acuity, accuracy into being more flexible in what you say, not staying just stuck and rigid into one model, and actually being malleable into the ways you present information to the client. And on the other side, it is also the most valid thing for the client, because whenever they start being defensive and arguing with you as the therapist, it is because you are touching something really sensitive about them that could make them evolve faster in their life, in their project, whatever. So when they sense that, they may be scared of actually going there, of actually changing for real. It may be like, oh, I'm not sure I can do that. So they will be defensive, like, oh yeah, and what about you? For example, a client I had one time, she was constantly arguing, like many times she was arguing whenever I was starting to touch on those really specific things about her life that were not moving at all. She was like putting like on a shield in front of her and saying, yeah, and what about you, Matteo? And what about you? Like as if I had to prove myself in front of her for her to finally accept a change. And I didn't play that game of defensive arguing. I was like, yeah, sure, me, I'm going to tell you about me. I did this and this and that. The advantage about me is that I never talk about things that people should do if I haven't successfully done them myself. So there was not really any way you can get me stuck on that, because if I tell you you should do this, it's because I have done it myself before. So I just told her, yes, I did this and this and that. And she was like, oh, okay. Because she could see that what I did in my life was not applicable at all in her life, and that she had to actually follow what I was talking about, which was discovering herself, discovering what she wanted. But whenever I was getting on that topic, she was like putting on the defensive. Yeah, but it's not that simple because my life is like this. And what about you? Always bringing back on me, like putting back the guilt or whatever on me. And sure, that was just a basic resistance. I did not see that as an attack, because I knew she was just wounded and she was vulnerable and she didn't want anyone to see her vulnerable. So whenever I was getting her to start to be vulnerable, she was putting this mask of this tough girl, like tough, badass lady who fears no one. Yeah, but in the end, that deep down, she was just a little scared little girl. So, and I'm not here to judge, so let's just let that come out once and for all, so we can reassure the little girl inside, and then we can move on to the next step of your life. Through the way I communicated with her in this manner, by not answering to anger, to violence, and just letting it slip by, in the end she started to get in touch with her vulnerabilities and crying and saying, but I'm worthless. Okay, now we are going somewhere. Of course, you're not worthless, you have many skills, you have many talents, you have many things positive about yourself. Let's explore this. And step by step, slowly, we built her from the inside. But my point with that is, It's all about how you learn yourself as a hypnotherapist and how your clients learn about themselves during a session with you. Learning will necessarily, if not obligatorily, go through fear at some point. Because whenever you learn something new and you're going to get on the next step or the next level, there's going to be some massive fear implied at some point. It might not arise right away the very first time you try something new, but it might arise whenever you are like 2 years down in the thing you are practicing. At some point, some things will be the next thing you need to do to act upon, and your mind will hold back. No, I'm not ready for this. Actually, you are, but some part of your mind may be holding back. So I would like to share with you an extract, an example of the course I launched this week about 10 techniques to become instantly a successful hypnotist. It may not be instantly depending on where you are right now. It may take a few months depending, and if you're just a complete beginner, I'm not promising you will get that right away, but it is an accelerator. Those 10 techniques are an accelerator to improve your skills faster in hypnotherapy. You can find the course down below in the description if you want to check that. And I'm going to show you right now an extract of the first video of this course, the introduction, where I talk about that, about learning and about how can you improve your skills while accepting fear instead of resisting it at all costs. With that in mind, you will be able to improve your skills faster and probably notice some things about the way you think about your practice that you were maybe blind to so far. And I wanted to give you a few hints about what gets people stuck usually when they develop their skills with hypnosis, with language patterns, what usually gets people stuck and how to get your mind unstuck. Any path in life, any moment where you think you are completely stuck, where you think you are not moving forward anymore, it is basically going to be resolved by movement. And by movement, we mean action. Whenever you think there is too much, that you think there is too many techniques, too many anchoring things, you don't understand how some modalities work or how language patterns work or whatever, it is mostly that your mind feels or seems cluttered because you are going to reach a next level, or you see the possibility of reaching a next level with using those techniques. And since your comfort zone here is getting triggered, oh, something is going to change, then your mind sometimes, like everyone else's, holds back and make it seem super confusing and way too many information. Whereas in the end, you can just pick one, follow the trail, and you are going to find all the answers. But since many people are not used to this process of confusion, understanding, and you keep climbing and reaching the next step and the next step, every next step is going to be preceded by confusion anyway, or some fear somehow. Some people are not used to go through that process, so they think the first thing that seems confusing, oh, they are too dumb, they will not succeed, because it is not for them. Or like it is too complicated. In the end, it is just a natural process of our brain to reorganize things, to rearrange knowledge whenever some new information is coming up. Whenever something that we were not prepared for initially is coming up and might change the whole understanding we have of a field, it seems confusing at first, but it is just a natural brain mechanism. It doesn't mean in any way that you are not competent, not good enough, not smart enough, or that the thing is way too complicated. You have the brain to learn that anyway, as anybody else is. So I say that movement is always the key to resolve those problems, because as you keep practicing or as you take action in anything, you just practice with a friend or you try a new technique with your next client, that's enough to keep the mind advancing until clarity happens again. But clarity won't happen without action, or very seldom. Or it may do if you have been taking massive action before, and now the next piece of knowledge in this one book fires an incredible breakthrough. But this happens because you have been taking many actions before that. People who just stay into passive learning, learning, memorizing, it will always appear confusing and overwhelming in their mind because they don't combine that knowledge with real world applications from themselves, not just watching others, but actually doing it themselves. So your mind basically will become capable as you advance in this field or any other. What happens is that your mind becomes capable of handling a superior and superior and superior level of complexity. That is very important. I want to repeat that again. As you keep advancing into NLP, hypnosis, whatever you study, down the road, step by step, your mind is developing the capacity to handle a superior or higher level of complexity, which means that something that appears, that seems incredibly confusing, like you can't understand how it works, it will become very simple in your head because at some point you become yourself the person who is capable of handling that level of complexity. It is just higher levels of complexity. The more years, or more specifically, the more actions you have been taking into one field, the more your mind becomes capable of handling a superior level of complexity. So it is just about clarifying. You don't have to clarify everything. You have to clarify what is the main step in front of me right now. The main thing I can do right now that will improve the clarity, the understanding I have of the field of what I have to do, of the next step for me. Just the one thing right now ahead of you, either it is a technique, a piece of knowledge, a theory, or a specific teacher that you may connect with, either me or anybody else, that you connect with the personality and you notice something in their personality appeals to you because you know if you had the same personally to some extent, you may be able to accomplish more, whatever it is. Just I know right now in your head there is one thing that you know if you were doing that more often, clarity in your head would improve just because you are doing that. It may be something you do on your own, or practicing on your own, or doing self-hypnosis, whatever, or something you would do with somebody else, a client, a friend to practice with, whatever, a training coach, whatever. It's just one step at a time. And sometimes your mind will just have a quantum leap and drastically improve the level of complexity you can understand. And from there, that's where we get into intuitive action. At some point, you just know it, like the idea of unconscious competence. Obviously, it is just that sometime at some point your brain will naturally adapt so that you react to a client having a limiting belief, somebody resisting you, whatever, you will just adapt to that without knowing how you did it. That is the final, or like around the final stages where you have been increasing the level of complexity you can handle so much that whatever you say, whatever you do, everything works anyway.